We like neat whiskey, but we don't like the unnecessary hype that is surrounding it so often these days. That's why we taste completely double blind to give you the most honest opinions possible. We have no clue what this matchup is, but we're going to taste it and let you know what we think about it. And hopefully it gives you some good insight on whether these are worth anything or not.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. Thank you for joining us today. If you are new here, Erin is more of a social sipper. I'm more of a whiskey nerd. That's the background we bring to this channel.
Yep.
And like I said in the intro, we don't like hype all that much, especially when the glasses can't live up to it. You know, every once in a while we taste something double blind and it does live up to the hype. And then you know it's actually worth something.
Yeah.
But we're going to find out whether any of these are hyped or not. You already know what they are, but we are completely in the dark. And we drew these at random from our blind sample pool of a bunch of stuff that's matched up. I mean, most of that stuff is available versus allocated, but some of it is shelf product versus shelf product. And we're just trying to find out what the better buy is to recommend to you. And some of it is too hard to find things to keep us on our toes and to see if either are worth their salt. I never really understood that saying, worth their salt. What does that mean?
I'm sure it has something to do with weight of, I don't know.
Okay.
Probably something back in the olden days.
Sounds good. Get glass one on the nose.
It smells old.
Oh, it smells proofy too. It made my eyeballs twitch. It crawled up my nose and assaulted my nasal linings. You have nasal linings? It's just your inside of your nose. There's not a lining there.
Do I look like a doctor? I don't know.
Tissue. Your nasal tissue. It assaulted my nasal tissue. But now I'm getting back into it.
It assaulted?
The first smell did, yeah. It was super strong.
Do you say assaulted or assaulted?
I mean, we're just talking about salt. I'm going to say assaulted.
It's assaulted, but you say assaulted.
Assaulted.
It's assaulted.
There's a U in there.
AU, though. It's an AU.
Salt. Assaulted.
Assault.
Okay. Assaulted. I'm insulted by your line of questioning, ma'am.
I've just heard you say that for so long, and I just thought the internet would be a good place to ask you if you know you're saying that wrong.
Okay. Here we go. We finally got there. 7 years in, she's finally calling me out on something that's been bothering her this whole time.
I wouldn't say bothering me, but no, I've noticed it.
This to me smells incredible. It
smells incredible. Yeah.
It's got huge sweetness, huge oak to balance out the sweetness. There's proof there. Are you getting any note type of things, or what's this reminding you of?
It reminds me of power.
It smells like power.
Kind of.
It smells like a cologne. Like, what's that cologne smell like? Power. What's that whiskey smell like? Power.
It smells powerful in nose, body, flavor. Specifically what the flavor is, couldn't tell you, but it's powerful. That's what I'm getting.
Notes. Cherries. Pralines. Pralines are the chocolate, caramel, pecan, nutty things, right?
Sure.
Whatever those are. Those things.
Okay.
A little bit of banana. Big oak and barrel char. Like sweet, sweet, sweet oak and proof on the nose. Let's get this on the palate. Cheers.
This is making my mouth water and burn at the same time.
It's interesting to me because it is more nutty than I thought it would be on the palate. And when I say nutty, this is something I've been really trying to drill down on and communicate better, because a lot of people say, oh, that whiskey's nutty. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
And I don't know what that means when people say that, to be honest.
Right. And that's why I think it's important that we on camera here communicate better.
So what do you mean when you say it?
A lot of times when the first thing that pops into mind for me is nuttiness, it means there's a nutty flavor there that is an inherent lack of sweetness.
Okay. So it's more the lack of something that makes you think that it is something else.
The inclusion of a nutty flavor within a whiskey that is overall very sweet is fine to me. Mm-hmm. But it's when I drink a whiskey and it is very nutty, but it's lacking sweetness, I think those are the types of whiskeys that people tend to not like. Mm. And I was expecting this to be more sweet on the palate based on the nose from the first sip. But I am going to need to take a second sip, and, you can't trust that first sip. We say it all the time.
Yeah.
But that to me, that first sip, I was surprised at how little sweetness I got
Yeah.
and how much nuttiness I got.
I agree with the little sweetness. I still don't understand the nuttiness, so I'm not going to say that. But there is not as much sweetness as maybe the nose might lead you to believe, but it's not too far off. I didn't think this was going to be a super sweet pour to begin with. I kind of like that it's not very sweet because I don't like super sweet pours, so I very much enjoyed that.
Yeah, between the two of us, I'm more of the sweet one. Erin is less sweet, or at least in her personal preferences for whiskey palates.
I mean, sometimes I'm not very sweet.
And
We all have our bad days.
But yeah, the second sip to me, it did come through with more sweetness. It does have like a real like caramel, chocolate, gooey dark candy bar. It's almost like what are the Milky Way darks? It's kind of reminding me of that.
I feel like the sweetness that is there is it's an undercurrent. It's not forefront, and it is like a dark sweetness. It's not like a white table sugar sweetness.
Correct.
Or even a fruit sweetness. It's just a dark sweetness.
Yeah, there's
Whatever that is.
I'm getting a little bit of that cherry, like black cherry almost fruit note in there, but it's faint.
Yeah.
What that reminds me of is
Fruity, though.
these have to exist. It reminds me of mostly the flavor profile of a Snickers bar, which to me is the king of candy bars, but because of the chocolate being more of a dark chocolate, it's also reminding me of like the dark Milky Way. And there has to be a dark Snickers, right? I've just never paid attention to it.
I'm pretty sure that Snickers dark or midnight or something.
Something like that.
I'm pretty sure.
It has. I've never eaten one, but I have to imagine that that's what it tastes like, because there's no reason I would ever buy a different candy bar than a Snickers if I want a Snickers, because it's the king. But the dark one has to taste like that. So we'll find out what glass 2 has in comparison on the nose.
So I'm going to say something that just came to mind. It's neutral. It's not good or bad. But you know those Dawn dishwasher tablets that we have that we used for our dishwasher? When I open that container and reach in there, that's what this reminds me of on the nose.
They're Cascade Platinum, ma'am.
Oh.
Platinum Plus.
Okay, I'm sorry. The Cascade Platinum Plus dishwasher tabs. My bad.
Actually, I think they are just the regular Platinum.
Oh, they're not the Plus?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, those dishwasher tabs.
We try to balance things out, you know, over here. We're not trying to be.
Okay, so they're not
trying to be
Dawn.
frivolous.
They're Cascade. My bad. But that's like the general nose that I got. It reminded me of when I like reach in there and pull on one of those dishwasher tabs.
So to me, this is a beautiful example of barrel influence on what seems to be 2 bourbons. But this right here to me is a beautiful example of barrel influence in the way that there's like this almost borderline smoky, savory thing going on.
Okay, I can see that.
It's not smoky in the way that a scotch, definitely not a peated scotch would be, but they are literally flaming the inside of a barrel into charred oblivion in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And charred wood has a type of thing to it that is very distinct. And this kind of has a little bit of that in a really nice sugary way, like the wood sugars from being charred are combining with the char, and it's producing like this almost savory sensation that it's not very strong on the nose, not nearly as strong as the first glass to me, but I'm just getting this really nice savory sensation on the nose.
I can see kind of your smokiness. It's almost like you walked in onto a campsite after someone has left and the fire's been put out, but it's still kind of, there's the aura there. Maybe they made some s'mores, so you got some marshmallow.
I smelled that when you said it.
And it's like the smoke is cleared, but there's still that remnant in the air. I can get that on this.
Yeah, glass 1's more now. It's like that midnight Snickers or midnight Milky Way.
I don't know what it's called yet.
With a little bit of like black cherry raspberry, and glass 2 is way more in like the s'mores and like after campfireness.
I can see that. Shall we taste it?
Let's go.
This tastes kind of watery. Honestly, I'm a little surprised, but it also has remnants of a fruit leather for me.
Interesting.
So like the healthy fruit roll-ups that my mom used to buy us when we were kids. It kind of, which that's kind of nostalgic, but the viscosity feels kind of thin in comparison to glass 1. Do you get that? Like I feel like glass 1 was like covered my mouth and coated my mouth. This just kind of slips through my mouth.
On second sip, I'm not getting that at all.
Okay.
First sip was, interesting. It literally felt like I was swallowing a ball of flavor. All the flavor seemed concentrated, and it almost went down my throat like I was taking a pill or something. But the second sip, it's exploding on the palate. I'm getting like, what's that chocolate cake that has like the cherry raspberry thing going on with it? Is like a Black Forest cake or something? Like that.
You're more of a cake connoisseur than I am, but that
fair.
sounds like it could be true.
It's almost has that. It's almost like this chocolate raspberry thing. There's some spice there. It initially hit with almost like a Sierra Mist sweetness and effervescence and carbonation.
Okay.
And then it immediately turned really dark into these chocolate cherry raspberry notes.
Interesting.
I'm getting a lot of same notes out of the both of these, but they're just presenting them in a very different way.
I'm not getting same notes necessarily, but I would say the finish is very similar on both. It's a long finish. While the viscosity is thinner to me on glass 2, the finish is still pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, glass 2 seems a little bit more balanced.
Perhaps.
Glass 1 seems a little bit more rowdy.
Maybe.
And typically I do lean towards those pours with a little bit more personality like glass 1, but glass 2 is really calling my name right now.
Yeah.
So what we really need to do is take some time, clear our palates, start with the second glass, go back to the first, do some A/B comparing. We're going to do that off screen right now, and then we're going to be back to let you know if anything changed for either of us, let you know our final ratings on both of these pours and which one we prefer, and then we're going to find out the price, and this is the ultimate test always. We're going to find out the price, and we're going to weigh that against what we just tasted in these glasses to see if they're worth it before we find out what we're drinking, and that's how we eliminate the hype. So we'll see you in a few. Incredibly interesting comparison between these two, in my opinion.
Did things change wildly for you?
I have some thoughts, but I want you to go first. Ladies first.
Okay, I don't have a ton of new thoughts. Pretty much everything I said at the beginning still holds true. I am giving both of these thumbs up. I did enjoy both of these. However, if I had to get another pour of one, I would probably pick glass 2 today. Glass 1, while I do appreciate a lack of sweetness in pours, it was just a little bit maybe too dry for me today. You know, it's like kind of depending on the day. This one was also borderline, maybe almost too sweet, but it wasn't quite. So it was, So I'd get another pour of this, but they're both good. I like them and would drink either one. So thumbs up.
Thumbs up on both. Okay. Yep. To me, I like both of these a lot.
Yeah.
Glass 1 to me, the more I spent time with it, it kind of went like this powdered sugar, jelly-filled donut route, which I really like.
That sounds yummy.
It had a little bit of a tinge on the finish, but the finish was big on glass 1.
Yeah. Big finish.
It was more of the spicy of the two pours. It was a little bit more spice driven, and the finish was a little bit more gripping and strong. Whereas glass 2 was in that Black Forest cake. I even Googled it and looked it up. It is definitely Black Forest cake, like dark chocolate cake and raspberry and cherry. That's more of glass 2, and there is that savory element to it. So to me, this was a really tough call because I'm balancing spice, which I love, versus that savory note, which I love. And that's a really tough call.
So what did you decide?
To me, glass 2 was darker. It had a darker flavor profile. It has a kind of like a darker, richer sweetness to it, even though glass 1 had a little bit more power. But they both have a lot of power. And glass 1 had the better finish, but I'm going to give the nod to glass 2 for me today. But this is a mood dependent
What's your
thing.
official score?
I'm going to be a soft 2 thumbs up on both of these.
Oh,
I really, really like these.
So each one is getting 2 thumbs up right now.
I really want bottles of these. I feel like that won't be the case. They better not get crazy on the price.
They will probably be expensive.
We're going to talk about it. But let's find out the price and see if it stacks up to what we just tasted in the glass. So glass number 1, number 28 is...
28? $150.
Not surprised.
I'm not shocked. Don't love that, but I'm not shocked.
Are you going to say thumbs up?
I am going to go down to just okay because I already saw the price of the next one. And it is $75, which is great. And actually, I'm going to 2 thumbs up for that.
Really?
For that flavor, that power, for $75. Now watch it be something highly allocated, and $75 is like the retail price, but you can't even get it at retail. That would be just my luck. However, if 75 is the actual price, that is a great pour for that price. and it's getting 2 thumbs up.
I would 100% agree with that. I'm going to go to I said a soft 2 thumbs up on both of these. I'm going to go to a strong 2 thumbs up on glass 2.
Okay.
To me, that is high value for what you're getting in the glass. And it was both of our preferences. Mm-hmm. I just tasted them again. There's like a slight sour fruit thing on the first glass that it's throwing me a little bit. And I'm going to go from my soft 2 thumbs up down to a thumbs up. Mm-hmm. I would really like a bottle of glass 1. I don't have to have one though.
Especially
so I'm going to give
price.
I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I like it a lot. I really would like a bottle of it. But if I never get a bottle of it, if I could get 2 bottles of glass 2, I would be fine with. I'd rather have 2 bottles of glass 2 than 1 bottle of glass 1.
I'm not getting my hopes up that glass 2 is actually something we can either purchase anymore or be fined even if we could purchase it.
Yeah, I got no clue what we're working with. These taste crazy. They taste really good. If you like really sweet bourbon, which is what I'm going to guess they are.
This is not sweet. Glass 1 is not sweet.
I'm getting sweetness.
I'm not. I was getting
a jelly-filled powdered sugar donut.
True. Okay.
Is pretty
All right. Let's get on with it.
Glass number 1, number 28 is
Russell's Reserve 13-year batch 2.
It's got that sour note on it. Interesting.
And it's 114.8 proof.
What's glass number 2?
Russell's Reserve CNA 9-year single barrel, and it's 110 proof.
Wow.
And both of these samples are thanks to Adam Mertens.
Okay, Adam sent us this matchup.
Yeah.
Adam sent us this matchup. Shout out Adam. Thank you. This is a great matchup. Adam sent us this because he had compared these.
Yeah, what was his result?
I don't know. He can let us know in the comments.
Oh, yeah, Adam, let us know.
This is amazing.
What so the CNA batch 9 or 9-year
It's whatever. A 9-year, just a Russell's pick.
Can you purchase it anymore though?
No, it's a single barrel. But that's the point.
It's a single
that's
barrel.
The whole point of this matchup. Russell's 13 is a highly coveted bottle that should sell for $150 at retail, but oftentimes goes for $250, $300, $350 or more.
Gotcha.
Can Russell's picks actually supersede some of the special releases?
I would say yeah.
At least in the case of Russell's 13, yes. For us, clearly they can.
Yeah.
Now, I want to go ahead and throw a caveat out here. Russell's 13 has not blown us away in blind tastings ever. I think this is probably the best it's ever fared for us.
Really?
It's gotten just okay from us.
Well, I did end up giving it just okay.
But before price, it's gotten just okay.
That was after price.
But honestly, the Russell's picks, some of these things can be very, very, very good. And this one is very, very good. Big shout out to Adam for making this happen.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're interested in Russell's picks, we did do 2 Russell's Reserve barrel picks at Wild Turkey recently that will be coming out very soon. And they are awesome. One we called All the Fixins because it had everything you want in a Russell's pick. And I would be very curious to taste it against this one.
Yeah.
Because this one leans a little bit more like into that chocolate
fruit
realm,
note,
whereas the other one has like I think a little bit more of a quintessential turkey backbone to it. And I like both those things. Whereas the other one we called Kentucky Sweet Tea because it has kind of like this like loose leaf tea, sugary sweetness to it, which is really good as well. So those are coming out on Patreon for our Patreon members soon. If you want to support the channel and get access to our barrel picks and all the other stuff you see down here, you can find all that stuff down in the video description below on Patreon. But man, this was fun.
That was fun. I enjoyed this. I could tell that they were proofy, but I did not pick up that they were turkey. But what do I know?
Well, neither one of them had the funk, and I'm not well versed on the Russell's 13 batches, but I think batch 2 is the one that had the most old whiskey blended in, like the highest percentage of old whiskey, which makes it a very divisive batch. Some people say that it's too oaky. It didn't come across that way today. It came across actually brighter and lighter than the pick, even though
the blend is pretty good.
The proof and the finish did shine through. So
yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, y'all. That's it for today. Be good to each other, and until next time, cheers.
That was fun. That's the best Russell's 13's ever done.
Really?
Russell's 13 is no Russell's 15.
I was going to say, what was the thing that Jimmy signed? Is the 15?
Yeah, 15.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
There seems to be this dividing line between people who love Russell's 13 that find Russell's 15 too oaky.
Okay.
And then people who love Russell's 15, like me, that find Russell's 13 a bit lackluster. And I don't know anybody who has a strong preference for the 13 or the 15 that doesn't feel like the other one is missing something.
Interesting.
You know, like there's people that like both.
There's whiskey out there for everyone, though.
Yeah. This is super. Oh, wow. So the blend of the two brings out more of the turkey funk.
It's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
I like it.
It smells good.
All right, I'm tired.
What's new?